Hello there guys and welcome to the match review of Barcelona 4, Alaves 1. We've won at the Camp Nou here. We got what we wanted, we've got what we said we needed in the preview to this game. It is a victory for Barcelona. It's a victory by 3 goals in the end, so that means we should be top of La Liga on Christmas Day, which is obviously a positive, but there is still plenty to discuss. There are still questions with the side, and without any further ado, let's get into all of them. So a good place to start here, guys, is by taking a look at the team selection from both coaches. We start with Valverde's team. He did actually make a few changes. So Titi came to the back line, Roberto dropped back to right back, so no spot for Semedo. There were to be no Todibo, no long today either. Ter Stegen got the nod in goal. In midfield, we saw Aleñá and Vidal also come in, also Busquets coming back in, so a completely new midfield three. And up front, it was Messi, Suarez, Griezmann. I would have loved to see Carlos Perez today, and I think we actually struggled for width to break down the Alaves side. They lined up as we expected. It was like a 4-5-1 sort of shape, with Lucas Perez on his own up front, and Alex Vidal tried to join him when he could, but they augmented that midfield really well, Alaves, and they also had that sturdy block at the back that made it really difficult to break through. And after about the first 20 minutes, it turned into a dull game, and it turned into the sort of game that Alaves really wanted. There wasn't a lot going on in the crowd. There wasn't a lot going on the pitch either. The ball circulation wasn't quick enough. And of course, if you play a front three that narrow against an Alaves side who you know are going to play essentially a 9 at the back, then there is really no width or no way to get in other than, some genius Messi balls over the top. So without any further ado, let's get into the match action and run through what happened in this afternoon's fixture. I thought Barcelona started really well. We came out here pushing on. We got Busquets on the ball in midfield. Aleñá was there too, Vidal, and all in all, I think that midfield three there, compared to the one that started the Clásico, it had a lot more in it. Of course, there was no De Jong today, and that was, you could say, a miss, but it had good complements to the midfield. There was a good balanced Busquets. He kept things ticking. I was much more impressed with his positional play today too. He was deeper, which is what I wanted to be. We don't want him being caught out. He's often too far up the pitch this season, and he doesn't have the pace to recover that. I thought Aleñá, had the link from midfield to attack really well. He was getting Alba involved on the left-hand side, also Antoine Griezmann. And you had Arturo Vidal, who, I've got mixed thoughts on him. I love the guy. I think he's such a good warrior and always a good asset to have. But for Barcelona, does he fit? I don't think so. But the way we're playing right now, he does fit. And that's probably because we're not playing that good football. I think in a normal Barcelona team, say Pep was still here, Vidal probably wouldn't be part of this side. I don't think, even in most Barcelona teams in the olden days, Vidal wouldn't be the sort of player you'd sign, and he wouldn't be the sort of player who'd actually be a useful asset for you. But in the way that we play, with the style of play we have, he's actually the only one who creates a lot of the stuff. When Messi has the ball, he's the only one running forward. When there's someone who wants a passing option, he will charge and make himself available. He will win the ball back for us. And he does fit in this team, Whether we want it or not, he does fit. That's probably, not a compliment to the way we're playing, quite frankly the opposite, but he does fit in the team and he is an asset for us. But that front three again today, guys, I just thought it was a bit too narrow. And yes, we started that first 20 minutes well. Griezmann got the goal, good finish. I still think that those three starting at the same time is something that, well, if we are going to do it, we need to get right. I think it's such a delicate, a delicate plan to uphold, and I think that in the future, someone like Perez, someone like Fati, and also Dembele when he comes back from injury, simply have to be involved. And as I mentioned, we did get that goal through Antoine Griezmann, a good right-footed finish actually. We had some chances before Messi got a goal ruled out. Whether that was offside or not, I'm not sure. Questionable VAR decisions again there. But we moved on. We're not Real Madrid. We're not going to make front pages about it. Griezmann got the goal. It was a good right-footed strike. I'm happy for him. I love when Griezmann gets on the score sheet. It's what he's there for, to pick up the loose balls and put them in the back of the net. That's what we want from Griezmann, and he did it again there. Always, good relief to see him on the score sheet. Good work from Suarez getting an assist too. And then the rest of the half, guys, what were we doing? Well, I'll tell you what we were doing. We were doing kind of what we do every time under Valverde when we get the lead, especially at home. There was no urgency. All the good football just cut. It just cut. The stadium was silent. And I don't really know what to say about that. It happens far too often. And it was only on the stroke of half-time when Vidal absolutely powered one past the goalkeeper that the fans got on their feet again. With the rest of the stadium, of course, we can't include golden orders in that. But you know what I mean. The atmosphere was very, quiet in there, and understandably there weren't a lot of people, and well, the football wasn't very inspiring either. It was sloppy for large parts of that first half, and in the second half we came out after we got our second goal, and maybe it made things even worse getting a second goal. The first 10-15 minutes of that second half, were absolutely dreadful. There were no subs, of course, no movement on the bench. It looked a tired Barcelona side, it looked an old and aging Barcelona side, and Alaves just thought, let's go and do something. There's nothing going on near our goal, so let's push up a couple of yards, and that's exactly what they did. They got a great cross into the box and a great header by Pere Pons coming in from midfield. They never, ever score from midfield, Alaves, but with a Barcelona side who leaves gaps in defence and is that sluggish, then, why not push on as a midfield player and get yourself in the score sheet with your head, which is exactly what Pere Pons did, the former Girona man. So a Catalan scores against Barcelona, and really, we were struggling. The game was getting bitty. I was very frustrated. I wasn't happy with just getting a 2-1 this game. It's almost the opposite of what we wanted from this one. We wanted some goal differential in our side. We wanted a big performance here. I still don't think we got one, but Messi turned up the heat. It was around about the 70th minute, I think, maybe a little bit earlier, 5 minutes earlier or so, but he gets the ball, and out of nowhere, really, there are about 6 Alaves defenders around him. He charges through, and he whips into the corner. If any other player did that, we'd be talking about this goal for weeks, but it's Messi. You just think, well done, son, go and get the ball and do it again. It's an absolute joke. It was an incredible goal, and I think it did kind of just get brushed aside just because it was Messi, but an amazing goal from him, and really when we needed it most, actually, Messi gets his 50th goal of 2019. That's, I think, 9 seasons straight now. He has scored 50 goals in the calendar year, so his standards are still going high, and Messi, they're on a score sheet for us. And just a couple of minutes later, Suarez had a header. It was blocked over. I thought we were going to get a corner, but VAR saw, and it actually did hit the hand of Martin Aguirre, I think is his name, at right back. And a penalty is awarded to Barcelona. It did hit his hand. It was a clear-cut decision, with the new VAR rules, obviously, of course. Suarez, he takes the penalty. No Messi, which I found strange, but Suarez now going to get himself on the score sheet here too. He got the goal, and apart from that, last 15 minutes we made some changes. Perez came on. Who else came on? De Jong came on, and also Semedo. But there was not really enough time for them to make an impact. Not much happened. It was a 4-1 victory for Barcelona. It was comfortable at stages, but again, it wasn't inspiring. It wasn't a sort of performance that you get off and you think, wow, that was amazing, and you're talking about it for weeks. It's nothing like that. We've had that too many times, I think, this season. The level hasn't been good enough, and honestly, in 2020, guys, we've got to improve it. We just have to improve it. If we are going to do anything, we just got to improve everything we do on the training ground, the fitness levels, the attitude, the formation, the positional play, the tactics, the ball circulation. Almost everything needs to improve by 1 or 2 levels, really, and then we will start to become an amazing team, because we're doing this now with quite terrible performances. And look at us, we're top of our Champions League group, we're top of La Liga, we're favourites to go into the quarterfinals of the Champions League. We're in a very good spot, really, in December. Not an amazing spot, not maybe as previous years have been, but that's only because Real Madrid's level is on a normal term this year. And the last 2 years, I don't know what on earth has been going on down at the White House, but I think, we are still in a good spot. So if we just did things well, like a Barcelona club should, you wonder where this team could go. There's plenty of good players in there, there's plenty of promise, but too many times this season, and also last season and previous seasons, guys, under Valverde, really, there just hasn't been a lot. And what I hate, really, is when we score a goal, it's sit back. The pressure doesn't continue. We had about 15 minutes of good football today, and that's it. A home game against Alaves at the Camp Nou. We're not going to be playing in for another 2 or 3 weeks, and there's nothing. 15 minutes of good football. Griezmann scores, and that's that. We'll hope to get some more goals later. Good night. And in the end, Alaves got one back, and in other games, we could have lost or drawn that game. So I hate the way the level drops. I'm not happy with the overall performance, but we came here wanting a win, and we got a win by 4-1. I predicted a 2-0, and looking back on it, probably quite a smart prediction by the way the game went. It was a sort of game that could have been a 2-0 win for Barca, but in the end it ends at 4-1. A few goals just turn in our favour there at the end. The penalty also helped that, and Barcelona are going to be taking back the 3 points going into Christmas, and essentially now, unless Real Madrid win about 5 or 6-0 against Bilbao tomorrow, which they could, then Barcelona will be top at Christmas, which is obviously what we wanted to hear. So yeah guys, if I was to pick out any individual performances today, I think you'd look no further than the likes of Sergio Busquets in there. I think Vidal, like I mentioned, how well he fits the sort of system that Valverde wants to play is key. But I just think that what we do in the midfield is going to be really interesting. When Aleñá came in today, I thought he offered some good sparks. He was a good link between midfield and attack, but we need to get it right in that midfield. Busquets needs to be playing, so does De Jong, so does Arthur, and also Aleñá and Riqui Puig have to start playing for this Barcelona side. It's as simple as that. These are top players. They're young, but they're top, and they will actually have the sort of desire to play for Barcelona. Because you look at a game today, it was full of 30-year-olds. They all wanted to go on holiday. They've all put in a shift this year, you know, some massive, massive energy-sapping games over the year. They were 2-0 up at home to Alaves, and they didn't want to be there. We need players like Perez in the team, then we need players, you know, like Riqui Puig, like Aleñá, like Todibo, like Junior Firpo even maybe. And we need these youth guys in the side in games like these to really spur us on and actually inspire us to much better victories and much better performances. That's why I say, guys, impressed with the victory today, happy with the 3 points, but there's still plenty to improve. There's a big 2020 coming up, guys. I've just given you guys the match review and of course the preview yesterday of Barcelona versus Alaves at the Camp Nou. I'll see you guys tomorrow for my video where I'm going to be discussing who would be in my team of the year for 2019. I'll see you guys then. Goodbye.